You're somewhere between 25 and 35. You're not stupid. You're not cruel. You're not broken. And yet, you still come home to silence most nights. Not because you failed socially, but because something shifted, and nobody explained what that shift actually was. Tonight, I'm going to tell you exactly why it happened and exactly what to do about it. Because the story you've been telling yourself is wrong. The silence didn't start because you're defective. It started because you outgrew something. Somewhere between 25 and 30, the social world reorganizes itself. People pair off. Priorities narrow. Energy gets rationed. And if you are wired for depth instead of volume, you feel the drop immediately. The friendships you thought were permanent quietly dissolve. Group chats feel hollow. You show up to events and realize you're performing a version of yourself that doesn't fit anymore. And then the thought creeps in. Maybe I'm the problem. Maybe something is wrong with me. But here is what you need to hear. Clearly, that persistent sense of misalignment, it is not evidence that you are broken. It is evidence that you are incompatible with ordinary, is where every man who ever built something meaningful began. Here's the truth most people will never say out loud. A full life does not require a full room. And in your late 20s and early 30s, the men who start sensing that are the ones whose circles shrink first, not because they are failing, but because they are filtering. Niccolò Machiavelli spent years in forced exile, politically erased, socially cut off. The men who put him there believed isolation would break him. It produced the work that outlived all of them. Isolation doesn't destroy the wrong men. It refines the right ones. And what I'm about to show you are 7 traits that naturally reduce your social circle, not because you're broken, but because you're wired for something narrower and deeper. Here is the first trait. Trait 1, you can sit in silence without falling apart. Saturday, no plans. Phone quiet, nobody texted. Most men in this moment will manufacture something, a bar they don't want to be at, a scroll session that eats 4 hours, a girl they don't really like, but at least the room isn't empty. They will do almost anything to avoid sitting alone with their own mind. You've sat in that silence, more than you wanted to, and somewhere along the way, you learned to stay there. People call you a loner. Antisocial. They say, put yourself out there more. What if I told you those people are describing their own fear and calling it your problem? Machiavelli wrote his most dangerous, most enduring work, not surrounded by allies, but alone, in exile, with nothing but time and the full weight of his own mind. Your discomfort with shallow noise is not a defect. It is a signal that you require more than what most environments offer. What to do with this starting today? Stop trying to fix the silence and start giving it a job. One skill, one project, one area you go deep on. Directed solitude is how men build things that matter. Machiavelli studied the Romans. He didn't wander. He aimed his isolation like a weapon. Trait 2, you see what people are actually doing underneath what they're saying. You're at a work event. Colleague walks up, big smile, tells you how great you've been doing. And while everyone else nods, you're standing there feeling static, a low signal that the words and the energy beneath them don't match. 3 weeks later, that colleague takes credit for your work in a meeting. You saw it coming. You always see it coming. And because you always see it coming, you've stopped letting people close enough to do it. Which means the circle gets smaller every year, and eventually you start wondering if you're just paranoid. People call you guarded, cold. They say, you have trust issues. What if I told you the people calling you paranoid are almost always the ones who needed you not to see them clearly? Machiavelli wrote that whoever deceives will always find those who allow themselves to be deceived. Most people allow it because being liked feels safer than being accurate. You cannot make that trade. Your nervous system won't let you. That is not damage. That is discernment. What to do with this starting today? When you feel that static, that low signal, something doesn't match, write it down. Date it. Watch what happens over the next 30 days. You will be right more than you are wrong. Once you have evidence of your own accuracy, you stop second-guessing it and start using it to build a deliberately chosen circle rather than no circle at all. Trait 3. Your standards have quietly eliminated everyone who couldn't keep up. This one is going to be hard to sit with. You have standards you've never fully admitted to yourself, not for money or status, for depth. You need the people around you to mean what they say, to do what they say they will do, to be genuinely building something rather than just talking about it. And you have watched, year after year, almost everyone around you fail that test. Not because they are bad people, but because they are comfortable, satisfied with fine. And you are not satisfied with fine. Spending time with people who are satisfied with fine feels like slow suffocation. So you pulled back, and the voice started saying, maybe your standards are just defense mechanisms. Maybe the real problem is you. What if I told you that voice is the most dangerous lie you have ever believed about yourself? Here is where I need to be straight with you, because this is where content like this can actually hurt people if the person making it isn't honest. Loneliness is real. The weight you feel when the silence becomes something physical that is real. And if it's pulling you under rather than pushing you forward, that matters. Not because something is wrong with you, but because the right people for you exist. They are out there living the same Saturday you are living right now. The traits that make you hard to know are the same traits that make you worth knowing. What to do with this starting today? Get specific. Write down 3 deep qualities a real ally in your life would have. Then put yourself in rooms organized around something you actually care about, a discipline, a skill, a goal. Standards without the right environment is just loneliness with better branding. Give your standards somewhere to find what they're looking for. Trait 4, you are becoming someone your old environment was never built to contain. Think about the last 18 months. Something shifted. You got serious about your body, your finances, your mind. You stopped laughing at the same things, and then almost without noticing, the room emptied. They call you too intense, too serious. They say you've changed like it's an accusation. What if I told you that every man who ever built something worth building heard those exact words from the people who were supposed to be closest to him? Your growth became a mirror, and people will destroy a mirror before they face what it shows them. You are not losing people because you are getting worse. You are losing them because you are getting more. And more is threatening to people who decided less was enough. What to do with this starting today? Stop trying to bring the old circle into the new version of your life. It costs energy you need. Identify one community, one platform, one space where the current version of you belongs. The relationships that form around who you are becoming will hold in a way that relationships built around who you used to be never could. Trait 5, you process everything alone, and the world calls that coldness. At some point, you stopped bringing your problems to people, not because you didn't have them, but because every time you tried, the conversation became more exhausting than the problem itself. People projected their fear onto your situation. They made it about themselves, and you walked away feeling more alone than before you opened your mouth. So you went internal. You built a processing system most men never develop because they outsource it to whoever will listen. People call you emotionally unavailable, not vulnerable enough. What if I told you the men calling you emotionally unavailable have never once sat with a difficult feeling long enough to actually understand it? What you have is internal sovereignty, rare, isolating, and one of the most psychologically stable configurations a man can possess. What to do with this starting today? Your internal processing needs an output, or it becomes a pressure cooker. Write not softly, but like you're building a case. Externalize the weight without becoming dependent on someone else to carry it. The man who understands himself completely is the hardest man in any room to manipulate or destabilize. Traits 6 and 7 rapid fire. You cannot perform small talk without something dying inside you. You're at a social event, someone approaches, and within 30 seconds you know exactly where it's going. Weather, weekend, sports. You perform the ritual, but something in you is elsewhere and they feel it. They call you arrogant, cold. What if I told you that what they read as arrogance is a man whose mind requires more bandwidth than most conversations offer? What to do? Stop going to general social events. Go to specific ones built around a skill, a discipline, a shared problem. Small talk becomes a bridge when it's going somewhere real. Find rooms where it does. And finally, you are running a timeline nobody around you can see. It's 11 p.m. Wednesday. Everyone else is asleep, and you're still awake because something inside you will not rest. A version of your life that doesn't exist yet, but that you can feel as clearly as anything real. They call you distant, unavailable, too focused on the future. What if I told you every man who built something that outlasted him was described in exactly those words by the people who couldn't see far enough to stand next to him? What to do? Write the vision down in concrete terms, not motivation language, specific language. Where are you in 3 years? What does the work look like? Then find one person already operating at that level. Study them. One proof of concept that your life is buildable will carry you further than 100 people who don't understand the vision. 7 traits, 7 reasons for the silence that nobody gave you, and 7 things you can start today. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not the problem. You are a specific kind of man, built for a specific kind of life, and the ordinary world was never designed to accommodate you comfortably. That is not a consolation. That is the entire game. But here is what I haven't told you yet. These 7 traits don't just explain why your circle is small, they make you a specific kind of target. The same depth that makes you hard to know makes you extraordinarily valuable to the wrong person once they figure out how to get through the door. There is a psychological playbook used on men exactly like you. Most of you have already experienced it. You just didn't have a name for what happened to you. That is the next video. I'll see you there.